Following her master's trail, Annette made the long journey to Stoneguard. There she talked to Natalia, who had been friends with Zanata. Following Natalia's clues, Hannet found her master in the forest, except he had been petrified by the beast called Red Eye. Hannet, forgive this old man for not keeping his promise. The last words he wrote before the curse stilled his hand. In the same note, he told Hannet to find a woman called Susanna. She is a seer, he wrote, and perhaps she can help. And thus does Hannet arrive in the frozen village of Still Snow.
Oh.
Turn up the volume on the game again. Now that Warbringer's done. Woot woot. Frolicking. Fine for myself as well.
Woohoo! Cheerily.
Once I finish this game, I'm gonna go find the Octopath Traveler and I'm gonna watch some people play Hunnet's route. I'm gonna see how they pronounce the cat's name. Oh, I'm watching a streamer over here. They're playing Witcher 3. Game is fantastic. But they're doing the Heart of Stone DLC. And that DLC is so good. I love it so much. So much. The Blood and Wine one is pretty good too, but Heart of Stone.
So.
I greatly enjoyed the story. That one. Replaying Witcher 3 is actually on my list of things to do.
Oh, yes.
Definitely won't happen this year.
No.
But someday. Someday I will. Oh, and to provide a tentative WoW update, I don't think I'm gonna resub. I don't think I'm gonna do it. There's a couple things. Well,
I see.
here's the plan. The plan that can change with the hype. WoW comes out on the 14th. So I basically, if the 14th comes around, that's basically the test of if I'm going to play or not. If I sub on the 14th, I'm going to play it. But if I survive, then come the 15th, I play Graveyard Keeper, and I should be pretty happy with Graveyard Keeper. So, here's hoping. You paid for 6 months, ready for BFA? Oh man. Oh man. I don't know if I want to commit to 6 months. I'm still afraid of September. There is something floating in front of my eye. I kind of like doing the 1 month at a time for the moment, even though it kind of loses money or you don't save money. With the save $1 or whatever, or $2 or $3, depending on how many months you pay. And don't get me wrong, I really want to play World of Warcraft. It's just once September hits, there's no way I'm gonna want to put in the hours. It's a lot. Dragon Quest XI, Spider-Man, Xenoblade Chronicles DLC, which by the way, oh man, I need to buy that because something crazy is going on with the Xenoblade DLC, and I need to buy this before they decide to change it. The expansion pass or the season pass, whatever you want to call it, it's $30. But this little standalone game that is sold inside of that expansion pass is $40.
Pox on 'em.
So, just in case that's a pricing error, I need to go buy that expansion pass. I also need to maybe spend a day or two to get familiar again with Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Boy.
I've forgotten a lot of stuff about that.
Honestly.
Maybe I should just watch my playthrough again. Kind of soon to be doing that.
No.
But I guess I beat it at the beginning of this year. How many episodes did it last? Might not be that crazy. It'll probably all come back to me after a while as well.
Oh ho!
Doubtless.
Any day now, YouTube. Oops. Don't do it.
Truth is,
Life is hard.
aye.
What class are you going to play, Narf? Out of curiosity. Alright. YouTube is breaking down
That
on me.
mean
Alright. Oh, it's only 32 parts. I mean, yeah, most of them are like an hour and a half to 2 hours long, but I could do that. If I do one part a day, starting today, I got it. And then on the weekends, I can watch more. I got this. Warrior always.
Right.
I rolled up my first warrior a couple months ago, and I had a great time tanking. It was basically my first time really tanking.
Ah, yes.
I did level up a brewmaster in Legion, and I was told to level tank because it was faster and
curses.
fantastic. So I leveled up tanking with the warrior, and I think I'm a tank now. Like, I think I like being a tank. It's fun, enjoyable, and above all else, it's easy. Not that World of Warcraft is really known for its, sharp difficulty and whatnot, but I like it. You're going Fury. I was just never good at DPS. I don't know what it was. Maybe I just don't have a deep understanding of rotations and how to fully maximize what to do around global cooldowns, but for whatever reason, my DPS just always sucks. Sometimes I feel like all you gotta do is pump your cooldowns and then pump your DPS spells, but there's a lot more to it than that. Or so it seems. If I were to play, I'll probably go Paladin. I have a Paladin leveled up. Never played a Paladin before this. I've always wanted to play a Paladin. I like that. I have a Death Knight that I'm interested in playing. Alright, I'm gonna save because this fight, these provoking fights are the reason why things have been, or the reason why I've done everything that I have up to this point. Okay, he's actually not that strong.
Now, let us hunt him.
I might be
What
able to do
next?
this. Yeah.
Missed me. What next?
I haven't played active since Kata. A little out of practice.
What next?
Whoa, Cataclysm, man. Cataclysm. That's a long time ago.
What next?
Let's see. You're weak against swords.
Coming. I will not be the. What next?
Yeah, wow, Cataclysm. Out of curiosity,
If thou darest.
what do you play World of Warcraft for? Do you like the story? Do you just like the gameplay? Like, what draws you into World of Warcraft?
What next? Holding back nothing. I will not be the. What next?
Like the MMO elements. Sadly, they removed most of them.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Oh, man. I kind of feel your pain on that one.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Hey, we got him. That was actually super easy. There's probably going to be another one that's going to be super tough. Or maybe I just made her super beefed out with armors and whatnot.
He's a man grown, but still a boy within.
Oh, was that voice acting?
Be a dear, Hannet, and have Linda carry the poor fool within. He'll be catching his death of cold lying out in the snow like a log. How dost thou knowest my name? That's what you want to ask, isn't it? I'm a seer, remember? Possessed of the all-seeing eye. Or so they say.
Then thou art an oracle. Truly, thou will be able to help.
Poppycock and nonsense is all it is.
Poppycock?
A hunter from the woodlands who communes with the beasts. Not a common sight in these parts. The only one who might fit that description is that hobbledehoy, Xanta.
Hobbledehoy.
Him or his prentice, Hannet of the Darkwood. Your age, your snow leopard, your garb. Simple deduction, my dear. The trick is to say what you know, and nothing more, and let the gullible fill in the details. That's all Susanna's famous all-seeing eye is, in the end. Well, disappointed to learn I'm just a fraud?
On the contrary, now I know I can trust thee. If thou speakest the truth about this, then surely thou wouldst not speak false of aught else.
Fair befall you, but that Zonta lad raised a clever prentice, and that's the truth. Now, why don't you tell me why you're here? But first, let's go inside, shall we?
It seemeth that would be for the best.
Dare you say it peaked in Wrath of the Lich King?
Oh, well, well. That young master of yours has managed to get himself into a right mess, hasn't he?
I was having this discussion, I think, in a Discord not too long ago, and I think the best expansion for me was probably Burning Crusade.
Mistress Susanna, canst thou help in him?
Story was dark and appealing, and MMO elements was still intact. That's true. Got that one.
There is one
I do miss
way.
the 40-man raids, though. Not gonna lie.
In truth.
Truth? Ah, now that's a word. You said you trusted me, remember?
If there is the slightest chance of lifting that curse, I will trust whomever I need to. Milady?
Gods take my eyes if that fool hasn't raised a strong and brave young woman. I'd scarce believe it if you weren't standing here in front of me.
I learned from his example, the good and the bad.
Is that so? Can't imagine that would work, but the world is full of wonders at that. Isn't that so, my dear?
It is.
But about the curse.
I'm gonna look for my rankings here.
I am prepared for any trial.
There is but one way to turn stone back to living flesh. And that is to slay the beast that wrought the curse.
I had feared as much, but it shall be done.
Stay, child. I'm not finished yet. Did Xanta forget to teach you patience?
Mine apologies.
If you try to fight the beast as you are, you'll only meet the same fate as your master. And what good will you be to him then?
But I must...
What you must do first is find the means to protect yourself from Red Eye's lethal power. Tell me, dear, have you heard of the plant called Herb of Grace?
Never.
Long ago, there was a beast in these parts too, what turned men to stone. Folks here soon learned that Herb of Grace could ward off the magic. I reckon it should be effective against Red Eye as well. Herb of Grace grows in a forest so thick there are few ways in. I'll send a Layak ahead to show you the entrance to the trail.
Can't find my ranking.
But know that the forest is a perilous place, and home to many frightful beasts.
What forest isn't?
You want to prepare well before you venture in.
I shall. Thank thee, milady.
It is my pleasure, dear. In a strange way, that Xanta boy was like a son to me. A vexing, wayward one, but a son all the same. With you being his prentice, it rather makes you my grandchild now. And what kind of a grandmother would I be if I refused to lend you a helping hand?
Master and I are both in thy debt.
Okay. So I think
Most
where my ranking goes is probably Burning Crusade at the top. Then I didn't play Mists of Pandaria, so I'll just leave that one out. Burning Crusade at the top. Well, it may be a three-way tie. Legion, I thought Legion was really, really good. I thought Wrath of the Lich King was really, really good. And I thought Burning Crusade was really, really good. I'm not sure which one of those inches forward and which one's inch back. But I think Burning Crusade is probably number one. It'd be like 1A. Cataclysm was probably one of the worst ones for me. If in some of my other playthroughs, I've kind of notated how irritating going through content that you've already been through for a second time is infuriating.
teach you a lesson.
Maybe not infuriating, but just like extremely annoying. And that's what Cataclysm basically was. Is, yeah, you know, they changed up, you know, the old Azeroth zones, but they were still the old Azeroth zones. And so I wasn't really liking that.
I've done my research on you.
Never reached max level until Wrath of Lich King. Didn't really get to experience the glory days. Oh, the glory days they were. In that same Discord chat, when I was looking over it, there were times, there's the dungeon, Blackrock Depths, and now it's kind of like split into several dungeons, or several wings of the dungeon, but before, it was just one dungeon, and hardly anybody actually knew the route of the dungeon, so it was just an exercise of how not to get lost in that dungeon and still fight all the bosses. But nobody ever wanted to fight all the bosses because there was like, it was basically like a raid in terms of how many bosses there were. It was insane. But it was, I think it was like a 10 or a 15 person dungeon or something like that. It was something ridiculous. I don't think it was a 5-man dungeon. It was crazy. BRD, man. Oof. Unpopular opinion, but you actually enjoyed Cataclysm. PvP was pretty solid. The only time I did PvP was in Vanilla WoW. I did a lot of Warsong Gulch and some of the other battlegrounds. And then when they released arenas, I did a little bit of arenas. But I'm not good at PvP. And I'll drop some knowledge that I really shouldn't, because this will degrade me as a gamer. Even though it was in the past, all the way back in like 2004, but I was a clicker back then. So that might have played a big part in why I wasn't really that effective in PvP. But, you know,
Thanks be to thee.
I'm not a clicker now, so there's that. No, just too many buttons. I have every time I say my keybind configuration to people, they always think I'm super strange.
Thanks.
Most people out there, you know, they use QWERTY, I guess, and they use, you know, like 1 through 6 or whatever, and that seems pretty standard. There are some people that use ZXCV, blah blah blah. You know, that, again, fairly standard. You know, I get it. In games where you got to move around with the hotkeys, you know, WASD, I get it. You know, I use WASD. But for games like, let's say, League of Legends, I don't use QWERTY. I use let's see, EFGD. Those are my 4 main keybinds. I use like, let's say for League of Legends, I use D for flash. I could use T, I could use R, C. Some other ones. I rarely take time to use the numbers.
Now, letting us hunt
One of my biggest issues with,
letting my arrow
I guess,
fly and true.
using keybinds and not being a clicker is that I don't want to say I have fat fingers, but I play as if I had fat fingers. I'm constantly hitting buttons that I shouldn't be hitting. And so when it comes to hitting the number buttons, I'm always hitting 1 and 2 when I want to hit just one of them.
Interesting dilemma.
We were all clickers at some point. That's true, but you know, back in 2004, being a clicker got you ridiculed. It just so happened for me where I got lucky, and
Come on, I've got better things to do.
I guess I was just good enough where people couldn't realize I was a clicker, and so I got away with it. You know, I didn't do the common things of like turning with the arrow keys and whatnot. Although I will admit, I used to play with the arrow keys too. Oh man, that's embarrassing to say. You don't want to be doing that. Ooh wee.